How's it going, YouTube? Crazy316 here. We're going to discuss the tragic failure of HypeLibertarian and his crew of logically challenged, unstable creatures today. Now, I say HypeLibertarian because when you actually do your study, you see that this guy is nothing but a hype. And let's start with the magnificent trio of all, which have released videos in response to mine with the tag of so-called refuting my video. In the ring, we have HypeLibertarian, SleazyIntelectual4 and ShellySummers. What did they refute about my video? Well, first, Lazy Intellectual made a 9-minute video ranting and stating ad hominems. Great approach, by the way, buddy. In this video, he claims the Apologetics Press is not a credible source of information because it's run by creationists. Creationists that hold PhDs and MDs, I might add. So much for this video. Next off is ShellySummers, who again tries to discredit the Apologetics Press as a source. So much for his video. And lastly, we have HypeLibertarian, who tries to discredit my source as not credible. What do all these failbots have in common? They all referenced the wrong people. Brad Harrop, PhD, and Bert Thompson, PhD, and Dave Miller, PhD, were the contributors to the article, yet none of them used their own work within this article. They merely referenced other sources and sites which are very credible. These sources, HypeLibertarian has failed to address to fabricate a false position of the studies that were conducted by these men. These sources are such as the Human Genome Project, which was no liberal or conservative bias, which was at ornl.gov. William M. Byne, who debunked LeVay's work, has MDs and PhDs in psychology, with significant postdoctorate involvement in human sexuality issues. He is the Director of Laboratory of Neuroanatomy and Morphometrics, Mount Sinai School of Medicine, Associate Professor of Psychiatry, Mount Sinai School of Medicine, Editorial Board, Journal of Homosexuality, Editorial Board, Journal of Gay and Lesbian Psychotherapy, former Research Associate, Albert Einstein College of Medicine, Yeshiva University, former attending psychiatrist, New York State Psychiatric Institute, former psychiatric resident and neuroscientist, Columbia University, Outstanding Resident Award, National Institute of Mental Health, 1991. His education, MD, Albert Einstein College of Medicine, Yeshiva University, 1989, PhD Neuroscience Training Program, University of Wisconsin-Madison, 1985. And the link will be in the side for him to read more about him. We also have S. Marc Breedlove, formerly of University of California, Berkeley, now Rosenberg Chair in Neuroscience of Michigan State University. And I will post a link in the side for him. Marc Breedlove is the one that addressed that sexuality does indeed have an effect on the brain and its shape and size. Now, Gordon M. Sheffert, who is into neuroscience, computational biology and bioinformatics at Yale University, got his MD at Harvard University 1959 and PhD at Oxford University 1962. The information for him will be to the side. And he commented on brain plasticity and further proved Breedlove's point on sexuality affecting brain structure instead of the other way around. Bruce Parsons, who with William Byne commented on and debunked the twin study, Ruth Hubbard and Elijah Wald, who wrote the book Exploding the Gene Myth, which further debunks the twin study, and Fausto-Sterling, who is Professor of Biology and Gender Studies in the Department of Molecular and Cell Biology and Biochemistry at Brown University. She is Chair of the Faculty Committee on Science and Technology Studies. The link for her will be in the side. Who with Evan Balaban, and Fausto-Sterling, Associate Professor studying neuroscience, both commented and debunked the XQ28 gene myth, which two other independent labs, one in Canada, led by George Rice, and another at the University of Chicago, led by psychiatrist Alan Sander, both failed to recreate this theory by Hammer. Topped with Ingrid Wickelgren, author of Genetics, Discovery of Gay Gene Questioned. In conclusion, you, HypeLibertarian, have ultimately and epically failed to provide legitimate reasoning why my sources are not credible. The same goes for SleazyIntelectual and ShellySummers. You have presented yourselves with the greatest ignorance possible, broadcast for all of YouTube to see. You are the dumbest trio of YouTube ever. Now, I'll respond to Mike's oversimplification of reasoning why I decided to read from the True Origins website instead of using my own words. The answer is very simple. I have already used my own words in several of my previous videos dating back 6 months ago, and I have even provided the links to those videos in my description bar on that genetics video, so what's your excuse? Thirdly, your claim to have broadened my vocabulary falls flat on its face. I have been using these words such as plethora and strawman well before you were even thought of in my realm. For example, the use of such words and plenty more in my early season arguing these arguments. Oh yeah, correlation does not equal causation. Try again. The fourth point is you read the Apologetics Press belief statement. You have to be kidding me. I'm glad you were able to broadcast on YouTube such a wonderful statement, but your bold ignorance in correlating their belief statement and tainting their field of study is the most arrogant and imbecilic thing anyone can think of doing. By your silly, stupid logic, every single Christian is not qualified for their career jobs, and their degrees are all null and void. Fifth, I'll discuss the claim that these highly credible secular and Christian scientists and doctors alike all hold strawman arguments concerning these arguments atheists and homosexuals bring up. Did I not make it clear that my videos are directed to those that are, to this day, still making these arguments, whether or not the scientific community has dismissed them? It's time for you to stop pretending to use your brain and actually put it to use. If the science community has already dismissed these arguments, why then are the homosexuals and atheists still using some of these arguments? Therefore, my points are justified in that they show why the arguments are null. The sixth thing we'll discuss is the brain structure argument revisited by Swedish scientists in 2008 on a larger scale than that of LeVay's study. So nice of you to present this data, which only stops the point that LeVay's study was never reproduced. Now let's look at the specifics of this revisited study. The problem with this study is it doesn't go anywhere near as great of detail of that as LeVay's study, nor does it explain how the samples were recruited or acquired. Also, once again, brain plasticity and the work and research from Marc Breedlove and Gordon M. Shepard have debunked such claims. Therefore, you bringing up this study is still no evidence for sexuality being inborn, when all of the scientists have found there is more evidence for an environmental component than that of a genetic one, which there is absolutely no conclusive data for. We have already established that scientists have moved on to studying polygenics, but at this time we hardly know anything about this to even begin to say we're 10% sure that this is the cause, and I've stated that in a lot of my older videos already. I did post the links in the sidebar, so yeah, once again, all you have to do is click more info. That's where people usually post links. Yeah. So once again, I conclude, HypeLibertarian, you have shown your incredible ignorance in the process of the scientific method. Please get an education, because you don't have it. Bonus round, we're going to discuss a couple of things that HypeLibertarian has said on his newest video, with a colossal amount of lies within it, and quote twisting and assertions. Let's get started. The first point is really not even worth addressing, but here we go anyway. Indeed, I said I would not be referencing your ignorant videos because your source work is atrocious, and quoting methods are too loaded with bullcrap to give it the time of day. But I digress. Your latest two videos were so full of crap and ignorance, I had to break the silence. Did I break the law in doing so? No, I haven't.